All right, so we're gonna talk in this video about how to solve systems using elimination and substitution. All right, so let's just get right into it. How do we solve using substitution? First of all, to solve with substitution, you need to have one variable solved for. In other words, you need x equals or y equals. So if you don't have that, you need to either make that happen or you need to try a different method. In this case, we do have x equals, so we're good to go. So what I want to do then is take the value that x equals, in other words, 5y plus 18, and I'm going to plug it into my other equation wherever I see an x, since x equals that. So we're going to do that. And the reason for this is we want to get, if you can get one variable and one equation, then you can solve. So I'm going to plug that in for x. And so now I would have 3 times 5y plus 18 minus 6y equals 9. All right. So then you're going to distribute so that you can simplify this. So we're going to go like this, right? So I would have 15y, and then let's see, 60, so 54, and minus 60, or 6y, excuse me, equals 9. Okay, and again, always make sure you combine like terms here before you start solving. So I've got the 15y and the negative 6y I can combine, so I get 9y plus 54 equals 9. All right, next, subtract 54. All right, so we have 9y equals negative 45. Divide by 9. We get negative 5. All right, now once you have that's a good start, but remember when we solve systems we want an x and a y, an ordered pair. So our next thing is we need to solve for x. Well, we do have an equation here that says x equals 5y plus 18. I can use that. So I'm actually going to use that, and then it'll tell me, since I know what y is now, I can plug into that and it'll tell me what x is. So x is equal to 5 times y, which is now negative 5, we said, plus 18. So this is negative 25 plus 18, so negative 7. So where do these cross? Whenever these are two lines, remember, and they cross at a spot. So we want to say, where do they cross? You're going to write your answer as an ordered pair. Make sure x comes first. So I have negative 7, comma, negative 5, and that's my answer. All right. And then if you're like, oh, Mr. Chisholm, you went a little too fast, what did you just do? Again, you can watch that at any time, but these are also the steps that we just went through. You want to make sure that they're solved for x or y. It doesn't matter one of the equations is. You're going to substitute into the other equation, solve for that variable, and then you'll substitute into one of your original equations, pick the one that's easier, and then get your other variable and write it as an ordered pair. And of course, pause this if you need to have this up while you're doing your assignment. Great. Okay. The other way is elimination, which I always think sounds like a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, here we go. All right, so solving systems using elimination. How do we do this? Maybe you remember. So I'm going to look at this equation, this system on the left to begin with. Now with this, elimination generally is easiest to use if they're both in standard form. You'll notice the x's are lined up, the y's are lined up, and what they equal are lined up as well. So that's usually easiest. And then you want to say, all right, I want to get opposites here. So you're going to put them together, add them together so that one of the variables eliminates. And then again, you get it down to one variable, one equation, and you can solve. So in this particular case, you could do a variety of things. You could make the top equation 15x and the bottom equation negative 15x by multiplying by 3 and negative 5. But if you notice and you look at the y's here, it's a little easier. I could make that top one negative 4, or positive 4, excuse me, and then the bottom one's negative 4, add them together, and I'd be good to go. So what I want to do on this one, I think it's going to be easier for me to multiply the top one by 2, and I'm going to multiply everything by 2, and that will give me my new equation. So that will make this right here become 4y. When I add it to negative 4y, then I'd eliminate. Okay, so, all right, let's try. Okay, so there's my first one. And then the second one, I want to just say, all right, I didn't do anything. I didn't do any multiplication on the second one. So I have 3x. I'm just going to copy this underneath. Okay, now you're going to draw a line under these two equations. And you're going to put a little plus sign here in parentheses. And the reason that you don't want to get that confused that that's a negative 3x there, or a positive 3x. That's what you're just putting there. You're adding these two equations. That's why we put it in parentheses, so you don't get confused. So if I add these two right here, I get 13x, and then these would cancel, okay, equals, and then this would be 1040. Okay, and then you're going to say, all right, I need to now divide by 13. Divide by 13. So then you're going to take your calculator and go 1040 divided by 13, and hopefully you get a decent number here. In this case, you get 80. All right. So now I've got that. All right, so at this point with substitution, or with elimination, you want to plug back into one of your original equations to get y. And it doesn't matter which one you plug into, either the top or the bottom. Just plug into the one that you think looks a little bit better. So I'm just going to say, well, I think I kind of like that top one a little bit better. So I'm going to plug that in there because it doesn't have any negatives. So I'm just going to plug in there. If you did the second one, you would get the exact same answer. So it does not matter. So I'm going to go 5. And now I know that x is 80. So I'm going to go 5 times 80 plus 2y equals 340. All right, so this is 400 plus 2y equals 340. All right, we're going to subtract 400 from both sides. So I have 2y equals negative 60. Divide by 2 on both sides. I'm not going to write that step. We get negative 30. Okay, so once again, don't forget, always write your answer as an ordered pair. So I'm going to do that. My answer here is 80, comma, negative 30. And that's my answer right there. Okay, let's take a look at this second one. And really in this one, zoom in here a little bit. When you do this, sometimes you're going to have to multiply both of them by a number. So really what I want you to do is look at this equation and figure out what do you need to multiply by here in order to get this. All right, we'll pause here. Okay, I'm going to decide to get rid of x. You could get rid of y as well. And in order to do that, these both go into 24, but they also both go into 12. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3 and this one by 2. That will give me negative 12 on the top and positive 12 on the bottom. You could also get rid of y, and that would still work. But this is a little bit easier. So now I would have negative 12x minus 24y equals, make sure you multiply this too. A lot of people forget that one, and then they get their answer wrong. Okay, on the bottom, I'm going to get 12x plus 20y equals 12. And now notice I have opposites with the x's. That's my goals, get some opposites. And now I can add these together. These eliminate. This would give me negative 4y equals negative 24. So y equals 6. All right, now I'm going to take and plug back in to one of my original equations and get x. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the second equation. So 6x plus 10 times y, which is now 6, equals 6. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. So I get 6x equals negative 54. And then you're going to just divide by 6. Okay, and make sure you don't forget about that negative sign there. And then write your answer as an ordered pair. There we go. That's elimination. If you don't remember how to do that, I have the steps right here. You can use these steps as you're going. Pause it here. Put this up as you're working on your elimination problems. All right, so now hopefully that's a good refresher on how to solve by graphing substitution and elimination. What I'd like you to do now is work on an assignment that has those three. Good luck. See ya.